everyone, and welcome back to Erica's Small Kitchen. My name is Erica, and this is my small kitchen. So it is very hot today. Hence why my hair is up and not on my shoulders, because I just couldn't stand that any longer. Today, we are going to be making some Panna Cotta, which sounds super fancy, but it's not. It's really simple and versatile and yummy and yum-yums and cool and doesn't take very much time making in the kitchen. So that is good because it is a billion degrees in here. And to top our Panna Cotta, we are going to put a little bit of a Berry Compote thing on top. And now you can do fresh berries or not fresh berries or anything that you want really on top of this. But I'm going to make a Berry Compote with this because that just sounds so good. So let's get started. Alright, so for our ingredients for our Panna Cotta, you are only going to need 4 items. So if you want to keep it at these nice 4 items and just make the vanilla Panna Cotta and then put the fresh berries on top, you can do that. That's super easy. And you don't have to wash more dishes. But I'm going to make more dishes for myself. So for our Panna Cotta, we're going to use 2.5 cups of the heavy whipping cream, some granulated sugar, some more of your vanilla extract, 1 packet of unflavored gelatin, and some water. So I lied, there's 5 ingredients, but that's it. And then for our berry compote, now you can use fresh berries, but I just find it easier to buy frozen berries. I'm lazy. So I got some berry medley. It has strawberry, blackberry, and raspberry. This is another versatile recipe. It doesn't have to be that mixed completely. If you don't want strawberries, it could just be raspberries and blackberries and stuff. But that's the one that was on sale. I also have some leftover blueberries that I've had in the freezer. 1 orange. And light brown sugar, and some cornstarch. So we're going to get started on our Panna Cotta. Alright, so first for our Panna Cotta, we want to bloom our gelatin, which is just a fancy word of putting the gelatin in cold water and letting it sit. So you want a heat-stable or heat-proof mixing bowl. I usually go with the metal one. And we're going to put 1/3 cup of cold water in there. And then we're just going to open our gelatin packet and sprinkle it over the top. And we're just going to set this aside and let it sit and bloom like a flower. It's not going to get any prettier, I can tell you that, but it's going to do what we need it to do. So then, in a medium saucepan, we're going to add 2.5 cups of our heavy whipping cream. If you wanted to make this a little bit healthier, you can do a mixture between the heavy whipping cream and like a lighter skim milk. And into our same saucepan, we're going to add 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. So you want to turn your stove onto a medium-low, and we're just going to bring it up to a light simmer. You don't want it boiling, because if you start to boil it, it's going to break apart and just be kind of funky. So we just want to very gently heat this. And I would stir this generously, just so the milk doesn't like burn on the bottom. Panna Cotta is known to be a really smooth, silky dessert, and that's what we're looking for. So if you don't stir it, if you heat it too quickly, that milk is going to start to break down and burn and do all kinds of things you don't want it to do. So I would recommend stirring it quite a bit. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes that I've been letting this kind of simmer on that medium-low, and it's just beginning to bubble around the rim. So I'm just going to let it kind of go at it for a couple of seconds here. But this is just about where you want it to be, so I'm going to shut it off. And I'm going to take a couple of spoonfuls and start to dissolve the gelatin before I add the rest in. Alright, and I'm just going to add the rest in there. Whisk it just enough to get that gelatin dissolved into there. And now we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of our vanilla extract. Now for this, you could put this mixture into little ramekins or some kind of heat-proof glass, but I don't have any of those, so I can't make it like the little cute individual things that you may see when you look it up. So I'm going to make one big old casserole dish of this stuff. So this is an 11 by 7-inch Pyrex pan that I'm going to put in there. Now, whatever you put it into, you want to make sure that it's heat-proof because this is still a little bit warm. Or you can let it cool a little bit and add it into something not so heat-proof. But I'm putting it in here. So very slowly and gently, we want to pour this in so it doesn't splash. And you're basically done with the panna cotta. So I'm going to put this in the fridge overnight so I can let it set all the way before I reveal the deliciousness that is panna cotta. Alright, so on to our berry compote. So I'm just going to, in another medium saucepan, I'm going to add my frozen berries in there. Whoa! So I just put my berries on a medium-low so they can start to defrost. I'm just going to cover them up so they can not be ice cubes any longer. Alright, so we're going to put half of a tablespoon of our cornstarch into a couple tablespoons of water, roughly, of cold water. And we just want to mix these around to make sure that we don't get any crispy berries on the bottom. Alright, and I washed off my orange here, and I'm going to get a little bit of zest from it. So it's going to be about a half teaspoon, something like that I'm going to put in there. It doesn't have to be exact. That ended up being like maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. Alright, and give it a little stir so it doesn't burn. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. The berries and the orange is just making it smell so good in here. Oh! Now we're going to get this juice from the orange. I don't know how much it's going to be. Every orange is kind of different, but I'm going to say you're aiming for about a quarter of a cup. Give it a little stir. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar to our berry mixture. So we want to bring it up to where it just starts to bubble, to simmer. And once that happens, we're going to put our cornstarch and water mixture in there, cook it a little bit longer, and then you got your berry compote. And we want to see it start to thicken. And it's going to turn this nice, deep burgundy red. Alright, so our berry compote is done. Pretty easy. So I'm going to put it inside of a heat-proof container, or as I have a big soup cup, and I'm going to put it in the fridge to cool down. So we're just going to let it sit for, it's probably going to be about 12 or so hours. What time is it? Yeah, it's definitely going to be more than 12 hours. So I'm just going to have to be patient. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow when it's done, and we will eat together and enjoy some panna cotta and be cool. Alright, so it's been about 24 hours since I put this in the fridge. I covered it after about, I want to say 40 minutes of it cooling down. As you saw, the top is a little bit wrinkly, which I think is kind of normal. So when you serve it, you just want to serve it top side down, and you have this nice smooth surface that looks like you didn't just make some wrinkly pudding. But it is so fun and jiggly. You can either serve your berry compote cold on it, or you can warm it up a little, which I like doing. So I just popped some of my berry compote in the microwave for about 25 seconds, and that kind of warmed it up enough. So I have my berry compote, and I'm just gonna scoop a little bit on top of there. And let me just try this by itself, because I haven't made this one before, but it's pretty simple. Yum! Oh my goodness. The difference between like the berries, and you can taste the orange zest in there and the orange juice. It's so fresh, it's so good. And it's not overly sweet, which is fantastic. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on there. Alright. So 24 hours later, I really had to fight myself against digging into this before. It is so light, and it just melts instantly in your mouth, and it's just creamy. Oh my goodness. It's one of my favorite desserts. It's just an anytime dessert where you're not feeling like something heavy, but you want something just a little bit sweet. And it's lighter than ice cream, but still kind of has that nice vanilla ice cream flavor. And the texture, it's silky and light. It's not fluffy, but it just... Panna Cotta is so good, guys. And it's so easy to make. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and if you want to see more, you can go ahead and press that subscribe button over there. And if you liked this episode, you can press that like button over there. And if you want to see me make something specific, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I might just, do it and make something. It's probably going to be a little bit of my twist, so, be prepared for that. But I thank you all for watching, and I appreciate your guys' support, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. It's heaven.